Yeah, listener, even after I said it, I realized I didn't do a really good job of explaining it. That bounce in, bounce out stance is usually done in a completely bladed stance. And the first time I saw it was in the boxing trials in like 83, 84. And it might have been earlier than that because I remember it was my ski instructor, George, back then that remarked on it. Like the communist fighter was bouncing up and down, right? Like in and out, bouncing up and down, like you're on your toes, you're on your toes. So you are literally in the air as you bounce in and you bounce out, right? And it's not that there's not value to that. You're in perpetual motion, right? So it's like moving your head all the time. It's you're not in one place, so you're ostensibly a more difficult target. Now, the reality of this type of stance is you'll get tired very quickly because bouncing like that, except for the youngest of people, is kind of a hard thing to do. Now, Hyde used that type of stance early on, and I will say this: when I went to Kosovo, I guess it would have been '99, right after my kickboxing career. I was fighting some of their guys, and sure enough, they were bouncing in and out in that communist in and out style, just like that boxer I remembered when I was, I don't know, 9, 10, 11 years old in the Olympic trials. So that was hilarious. But what guys do with that is they use their front hand as a power hand because they're more comfortable with it, right? It's closer. And it's very MMA-esque, it's very Dominic Cruz-esque, like whichever side I'm forward, I'm fighting with. And I wish I could sort of show you how it's done. What I don't want to do is compare Hyde to those guard pullers, because if there was one thing Hyde Emil is he was a striker. And part of the reason he was a striker, I can tell you, it's very hard to learn jiu-jitsu from that segment of the scrap pack, if you will. Cesar Gracie is a traditional, very good jiu-jitsu teacher. I took a few classes with him while I trained with those guys. Those fighter guys, they're not very good teachers, but very few young people are very good teachers, in fairness to them. So Hyde was a striker, like just that's how he liked to do it, and then that's what he became. Very MMA striker style, right? Because he's not exactly a boxer, he's not exactly a kickboxer. He is fighting in a style that is dedicated only to MMA, and I think in the end that hurt him, but I think that hurts everybody in MMA. I think striking has become this blended stuff of goop. Like, a guy in MMA can't tell you that kickboxers don't move their head because he doesn't even really know, right? Like, he's so used to moving his head himself that he'll do it. But yeah, that bounce in, bounce out style was very popular among communist boxers way back in the day, like I told you. I remember that ski instructor, George, saying, like, the American's on his toes every once in a while. Why is this guy have to be bouncing like a rabbit? And yeah, that's hilarious. Anyway, read, like, and follow for more on the Fight King.